What's up, everyone? It's Jermaine. In this video I'm going to talk about Egypt. The first time I went, my experiences, what I expected, and I'll just give you a wrap on Egypt. So a couple years ago I really wanted to go to Egypt. I wanted to check out the pyramids. I'd never been to Africa. It was one continent I really wanted to explore. And one day I booked a flight. The flight was really cheap because there was a lot of chaos going on in Egypt. And I thought, hey, I'll still go. I'm not afraid. I've been to multiple countries by now. So I booked the flight anyway. A couple days later, I get an email from, I think it was a week or a couple of days, something like that. I get an email from Delta saying that, there's a lot of unrest going on. You can cancel this trip for free. So I paid it no attention. I said I'm still gonna go. I feel that it's safe to go there, and I'm just gonna do it and see what happens. So I do it. I show up to the LAX, get on the plane, fly to Amsterdam, meet this really cool Caucasian chick in the airport. She was wearing like a North Face jacket, and by her North Face jacket I knew that she was American, because once you leave the US, like, people don't really wear North Face. That's how you can tell an American. So I just walked up to her, sat right down, and just started talking to her as if I knew her. Okay, and I was like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Have you ever been to Egypt? And her response was, I live in Egypt. Like, I'm going to a university there. I was like, wow, really? And my first question was, how is it? And she was like, it's no big deal. You'll have a blast. Like, don't pay attention to the media. And when she said that, that's exactly what I was thinking from the whole get-go. I thought that, I can go and it'll be okay. The media is just scaring me, and the media just doesn't want me to go. So, peace of mind. Alright, so now I'm bored. Now her and I were boarding the flight from Amsterdam to go to Cairo. Man, the plane is completely empty. It was one of those planes where it had like 3 seats here, 4 seats in the middle, and then 3 seats here. And I remember sitting in like seat A and looking over, and there was no one sitting in any other rows, like even across. Like, it was the weirdest thing. I've never been on a flight so empty. I don't even think it was safe to fly the plane because you gotta balance out the weight, So anyway, we get there. I arrive, and I had a driver to pick me up from the airport, and because I was arriving in the middle of the night. So I get there, and I walk outside, and there's all these drivers coming up to me. You need a ride, where you going? You need a place to stay, where you going? And I finally found my guy, and he's just standing there with my name on his sign, and I'm like, hey, that's me. He's like, welcome to Egypt. Yeah, welcome. And I'm like, wow, this guy's pretty awesome. This is a pretty good first experience, So off I go. So now I'm in the car, driving with this guy, and I'm just looking around. It's the first time I've got outside the airport. Looking around, it doesn't seem to be any different from most third world countries, So I get to the place where I'm staying, check in. There's no one staying there, by the way. I'm the only tourist staying there. And it's cool, we'll see how this goes. So I didn't even sleep that night because it was 3 in the morning, and I just stayed awake the whole day, pretty much. I wanted to go roam around, see the country. And Egypt was, to go there during a time of chaos like it was actually a really good time to go, because things were cheaper. It definitely wasn't crowded at tourist attractions like you would go. If you went to New York in the summer to see the Statue of Liberty, come on, it's gonna be tons of tourists. But it wasn't that many tourists at the pyramids. And I don't know, I really had a really good time in Egypt. It was a trip like no other. The second day I was there, the same driver, he picked me up, and he asked me the day before, you want me to drive you around? I can drive you around and show you the country. And I was like, perfect, yeah, pick me up. So he picked me up the next day, and for like hours, 8 hours, he just drove me around the country. And it's pretty awesome because I got to see a lot of Egypt that I would not have saw on a tour bus. I mean, this guy even took me to his house. I mean, I didn't go inside, but he like had to go and like grab some food or something. But Egypt is it's a pretty broken country, I would say. What the media has done to it is it's pretty much ran out people with money and families. Okay, it doesn't really run out singular travelers like me. But I mean, come on, if I had a family of 3 and a wife, I probably would not want to take them to Egypt, you know, just because of like all the stuff you would see on the media. But that's not me. I don't have a wife and I don't have kids, so I'm a little bold to go. And it wasn't like I thought it would be. I thought it would be more like chaos, more protests, more. I thought it was gonna be like dangerous, and it wasn't that way at all. Like people are pretty kind. It's a Muslim country, so they believe they're very religious. So they don't really just bother people as much. I mean, I would feel more a threat in New York City versus Egypt, just because people are just nuts here. Like, people don't care about anything. I mean, you hear the craziest crimes committed on the news, you know, in the U.S. But then in Egypt, they just want to bombard you with, oh, it's dangerous. They're burning stuff, and yeah, they were burning stuff, you know. They're burning stuff in the street, but it wasn't like a protest that would happen in San Francisco, you know. After the Giants win a championship, they set a bus on fire. No, it wasn't like that. It was like people were burning trash in the street. They're not starting fires and destroying cars. They're just burning garbage. I mean, those are the fires I saw. I didn't see fires from riots, you know. And the media just, I don't know, they just don't want us to go there. So I went there, I had a blast, okay? And I recommend, if you want to go there, just go and don't listen to the media. I mean, let me take that back. Not saying don't listen to the media at all, but just like, I don't know, just like critical think. I mean, if they say it's chaos going on in Cairo, is it the whole city? I mean, is it the whole city, or is it just one district in the city? Okay, because if it's one district in the city, just avoid that one district, right? And you should be safe. Would I go back? I totally want to go back. The hard things about Egypt for me was, man, getting around was tough because there's no such thing as Google Maps. However, Google Maps does work there, but it's not accurate at all. I remember walking around for like 3 hours looking for an address that was just, it probably didn't exist. Yeah, so I thought the women really stood out because you didn't really talk to women much. And when you take the subway, it would be a women car and a car for guys. Women and children, and then a cart for guys. So that was, you know, it was kind of unusual. Like, there's this separation. Like, if a woman's walking down the street alone, man, like, every guy is gonna talk to her. Like, every guy is gonna approach her. But if a woman's walking down the street with another guy, like, no one will talk to her because that guy is like, you know, he's protecting her. But he could just be anyone. He could just be a friend. He didn't necessarily have to be her boyfriend, but other Egyptians would respect her and him and, you know, not bother her. And the subway was unique too because certain cars were for women and children and other cars were for men. And I guess if you're like traveling, like if I was traveling with another girl, I guess we could both take the main car together. Like, I don't necessarily think you have to split up, but I kind of thought that was, you know, a bit strange. And women definitely are treated differently. Like, men come first in that country. So I don't really recommend like feminists to go there because you may not like it. I mean, as I was leaving the airport, or I was in the airport and I was running very late. Oh my gosh, getting to the airport was like a nightmare. But I remember I had to get my passport stamped, and it was like a few women in line. And this guy told me, he was like, don't worry, just go around them and go to the front. You get your passport stamped and you have a nice day. And I was like, I was at the point where like, if I did not skip those people, like I was not getting on that flight and I was not leaving the country and I was ready to go, you know? So I just went straight to the front. It was like a woman, like, you know, with like 3 passports and her children. She had like just got to the counter, just set her passports down. And I just walked straight up, put my passport underneath, gave it to the other woman who was stamping the passports. She took my passport, stamped it like normal, and I was on my way. And I was just thinking, I like just totally skipped her. Like I would have never done that like back home. Like how rude was that? But they didn't see it as rude at all. They saw it as, you know, oh, he's just a gentleman and he's in a hurry. It's another thing that I mean, people are really friendly, but the part that just made me want to run away from Egypt was like, man, it is too hard to get around. Like when you flag a taxi, every taxi will stop for you. Every single taxi will stop because they see that you're a foreigner and you have money and you're gonna pay. So they're gonna stop, but what they're gonna do is you may tell them to go, oh, I'm staying at XYZ hotel. And every driver knows where that hotel is, but you may never get there because they just may keep driving around in circles. And they'll just stop and ask a random person on the street, and that person on the street will say, go this way, go right, go left, and you'll see it. And, you know, when you're in a country and you're trying to get somewhere and you can't get anywhere and maps don't work, man, that can be pretty frustrating, especially when you're accustomed to, you know, using maps and going places and it's really easy. Like that was like the toughest part. So after day 4, I just basically gave up. I was like, man, I'm not gonna leave this country because I would just be a chicken if I came here and left early. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna find like a hotel, like a really cool hotel, and just hang out there, right? Because I was staying at guest houses before. So I went to hotels.com and I found this hotel. I don't remember the name, but it was like a 4-star hotel and it was dope from the photos online. And I was like, man, it's only like $45 a night. Like I should just stay there. So I'm like, great, we're gonna move. I check in, I booked like 4 nights at that hotel. And I'm like, great. All my problems are gonna be solved because like I'm moving to a better place, you know. Well, first you gotta move to the hotel. So I'm looking for the hotel. Like I know where it is, or at least I think I know where it is. Hotels.com told me, oh, your hotel's here. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. And I'm also looking at the description. It's like a 12-story building, and it's a new building. So I was thinking, hey, this would be really easy to look for because it's a new building and there's a lot of old buildings here, and there's a lot of buildings that are under construction that you can tell that they just stopped working on. You can still see like construction equipment, scaffolding, but there hasn't been construction going on for months. So I was thinking, man, it's gonna be really easy to find this new hotel. It took me about 5 hours to find this hotel, and I may have taken about 5 taxis in about 5 hours. I mean, after the second hour, I got to the point where I got used to it. I got used to being lost. I got used to not knowing where I'm going. Okay. So 5 hours go by. I finally found the hotel. After I probably walked by it like 3 times. Okay. Finally found the hotel. I check in, or at least I try to check in. I go up to the counter, give them my passport. We don't have your reservation, sir. We have no reservation for you, was the response. And I'm like, oh crap. This sucks, dude. I'm sitting in this beautiful hotel and I don't have a reservation. So come on, like I finally found this place. Can I check in? Like, can I pay extra, you know? So she's like looking. Well, they found the reservation. They take me up to my room and things are awesome, right? Man, I had a blast at that place. It had a pool on the 3rd floor that no one was going to for some reason. It had 3 different restaurants that were always empty. By the way, there were no travelers staying at this hotel. It was probably, maybe I saw like 30 other people for the like 8 days that I stayed there. But yeah, it was dead. Like, I got to know all the servers by name because for like 4 days I didn't even leave the building. Like, I didn't walk out on the street because I actually liked the hotel so much because of the chaos there was just nuts, you know? And then also it wasn't really hot, but some days were pretty dang warm. So I was pretty stoked. I was like, I found this awesome hotel, and you know, I've come to this country at a pretty rough time. And by the way, a lot of people don't speak English, so that was kind of difficult for me. And alcohol there is like poison. I would not recommend drinking any Egyptian liquor. I don't remember if they had beer there. I can't exactly remember if they did. But yeah, the alcohol was like, you might as well be drinking bleach or ammonia or something. Like, it tasted like shit. So yeah, it was no nightlife there. And the main reason I went there was to see the pyramids. I got to see the pyramids like on the 2nd day, so I mean, I was pretty much done because I didn't really meet any other travelers there. I met maybe like a few, maybe 3 other American travelers, but they're the type of American travelers that, I mean, I don't think they wanted to associate with Americans, you know, because it was just kind of like, oh, you're from America? Oh yeah, I'm from America too. And it was like no conversation. And then upon leaving Egypt, like scrambling to get to the airport, have the driver drop me off at the wrong terminal, of course. I don't know how that happened. And getting on a flight and just having that peace of mind. Yay, I'm leaving. It's been an awesome trip. I got to see the pyramids, got to eat a bunch of awesome food, and can't wait. I'm going back home. Yeah, so that was my adventures of Egypt. But anyway, if you like my videos, if you like what you hear, subscribe and hit that like button too if you like it. Peace. Thanks for watching. Bye.